Hello! This session is intended to discuss or demonstrate the practice exercises found in your modules. Today, or this video, specifically contains the discussions on the practice exercise C of your lesson number 2 of Unit 3 in Math 7, which is actually on the operation of multiplication of integers. In the previous two videos, we're able to talk about addition and subtraction of integers. We are going to talk about multiplication now. So sharing to you is the window of the containing the already opened module in the Kotobee Reader application software. Again, in your elementary years, you're able to add, subtract, multiply, and even divide numbers. But we are going in this grade level, we are to present the negative numbers. So we already talked about letter A in the first video. You also have finished discussing letter B. All right, now we will go to letter C, practice letter C, which will include multiplication of integers. Okay, so moving on to the Paint application software with the practice exercises already placed here. Now, when we multiply numbers, we are going to use the rules of science. Okay, the rules of science in multiplying numbers. But I would like to put emphasis later on a specific rule, the rule of science when we reach number five. When we reach number five po. So let's talk muna one, two, three, four. And pag number five, I'm going to give some important um, reminders. Okay. As for the rule of science, we said that if we're going to multiply numbers, the same signs, the product would result the sign of the product or the sign of the result is a positive number. When we multiply numbers with different signs, okay, we are going to get a negative, take a negative result. Again, I'm just saying right now things when like when we multiply numbers. I would like to put emphasis of it when we reach number five later. So number one, 8 times 5. Again, we will not use any more x as multiplication because x when we reach algebra will mean something. So 8 times 5. Parentheses is actually the equivalent operation for multiplication. So 8 times 5 is just simply 4t. 8 times 5. Number 2, we have here negative 8 times negative 5. So it could look like that or it could look like this. The same thing. So when we multiply numbers with same signs, we have two negative numbers here. So negative and negative, the answer is expected to be positive 8 times 5, 40. To make it better, you don't need to place any more plus to denote positive. Simply placing without a sign means already positive. Number 3, you have here negative 8 times positive 5. So we are now multiplying numbers with different signs. So we expect that our product will be a negative, and 8 times 5, you have 40. And in number 4, it is actually a bit faster because it's just simply multiplication. So 8 times negative 5. So again, we multiply a negative positive 8 to a negative 5. Different signs. We expect that our answer is a negative. And 8 times 5 is 4t. So this is how the answers for numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 look like. We follow the rules of signs. What I said earlier is when we multiply numbers with same sign, the answer is positive. When we multiply numbers with different signs, the result is negative. But for number 5, I'm going to make a better emphasis. Sige. For number 5, kasi whatever I said earlier will be incorrect if I'm not going to correct it in number 5. Okay? I purposely made it incorrect earlier. So for number 5, you have negative 8 times 5 times negative 2. Without answering first, what do you think is the sign of the answer for number 5? the sign of the result, sign of the product. Now, if we are going to anchor to what I said earlier, that when I said the product of uh, numbers with different signs, the answer is negative. You might say, the answer for that, sir, is also negative something, because this we have here negative, we have here positive, we have here negative. They are of different signs. So if we're going to follow the rule of signs that we're going to multiply numbers with different signs, the answer is negative. It will be negative here. But I'd like to make a create emphasis, and then to put an end to a misconception. The rule of signs for multiplication is better when we say like this: the product of two numbers with the same sign will result to a positive signed answer. Two, the product of two numbers with different signs will result to a product where the sign is negative. The rule of signs actually follow or applicable for two numbers only. I mean, not only two now, specific for two numbers. It's still applicable for more than two numbers, but it really holds for two numbers. Okay? Kapag ibagkaiba yung sign ng dalawang number, the answer is negative. If the sign of two numbers are the same, then our answer is positive. So earlier again, our claim here, we just simply use those statements, negative yung sagot natin doon kasi different yung sign. But if we're going to do it step by step, yeah, let's take a pair of these two. So negative a times 5, that's similar to number 3. So negative a times 5, negative times positive, the answer is negative 4t. They replace here times negative 2. Okay, so we are now multiplying two numbers with negative signs. So the answer becomes positive, and then 40 times 2, 80. See, the point here is, it's not necessarily nga pag magkaiba sila, negative talaga. Because that rule is only good for two or a pair of numbers. Now we have three or more. So if you have three or more, do it step by step. Do not jump into conclusions immediately. Again, to make it clear, if we're going to multiply two numbers with same sign, then the sign of the result is positive. When we multiply two numbers of different signs, the sign of the result is a negative number. When we multiply three or more numbers with same or different signs, do not jump into conclusion, do it step by step. Similar to number 5, if I will add here 5.1, assuming we have negative 8, negative 5, negative 2. Following that misconception earlier on the rule of signs, magkapareha sila. They all have negative signs. So I predict that the answer is positive something. Okay, do not jump as I mentioned, because if you will do this, step by step, negative 8 times negative 5, that's multiplication of negative two numbers with same sign. The result is positive 40. And then we multiply it later by negative 2. Positive times negative, it should be negative 80. Again, it if we have multiply same negative numbers for three numbers, doesn't necessarily mean the answer is positive. So you do it step by step. Do not jump into conclusion. The point here is just for you to do it step by step to make sure that your answer is correct. For the next video, soon, we will have the fourth operation for integers, the division of integers. Use this video to understand better the multiplication of integers, and please let us remove the misconception on multiplying numbers with same or different signs. We are going to make it clear the rule works for two or a pair of numbers. If there are three or more, do it step by step. Pair them numbers until you can actually finish all the multiplications operations. That's all. Goodbye.